Perfect. Guys, first and foremost, welcome. My name is Jordan Stanley Payne. I am a real estate investor out of Montana. I also own several small companies operating mainly in cash flowing assets. Started in real estate almost 4 years ago. I wholesaled heavily for a long time, and then I transitioned over to buy and hold. Past couple of years, I've been able to build a large portfolio in buy and hold using none of my own money, mainly multifamily properties. I do this show. It is not only live, it's also a podcast and also on our YouTube. I do this show because I am sick of all the bullshit out in the industry. I'm sick of watching everybody in the different groups and on different YouTube platforms and on Google and all the forums receiving bad content and receiving bad information. It's easy to jump on Google and look up something and then get a completely wrong answer. It's easy to go follow a guru in a Lamborghini and buy a $15,000 course that has bad information because they're not actually in real estate. So I created Multifamily Mafia, not as a show about multifamily properties, but as multi-communities of people gathering together, aligned with a singular purpose and a singular goal. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this show. Thanks to everybody for being here. I know it is kind of a unique weekend with Memorial Day, so thank you for being here. Really quick, if you need more information about me, my website is right there on the screen, www.jordanstanleypayne.com/start. That's going to have my podcast, my YouTube, my free groups, all of my social media. It's going to have a free ebook explaining my first deals in real estate, how I got started using none of my own money. If you want any of that, it's right on the screen. One more thing I'm going to do very quickly is I'm going to post a link to get live updates about the show. You guys should see that popping up on your screen any second there. That is where you get live notifications. That's where I send out exclusive content. I send out my YouTube videos and offers and promotions and shit like that. So guys, once again, thanks for being here. Greatly appreciate everybody. Today I'm going to talk about long-term versus short-sighted as it relates to business. So I'm not specifically talking about wholesalers or even buy and hold, fix and flip people. I'm talking about general as real estate investors having a short-term, short vision, short-sightedness versus a long-term sustainable business. So it's easy to jump into real estate, especially if you're wholesaling. You don't need a lot of money. You don't need good credit. You don't need to be bankable. Literally, you're putting pieces together because the barrier to entry to become a wholesaler is so damn easy. A lot of people throw out the I'm a business owner aspect of wholesaling. So a lot of what I'm talking about today is going to relate to wholesalers, but you guys can also relate it to buy and hold, fix and flip, and being an agent. Long-term versus short-sightedness. I'm going to give you guys some examples. This is not going to be a very, very long show today. I want to be respectful of people on Memorial Day weekend. I know you guys have a lot going on. Guys, business owner and CEO mentality is radically different than the people that I meet out in the marketplace to say, hi, I'm Bob. I'm a wholesaler. What the hell does that mean? Are you a wholesaler or are you the CEO and the founder of blank company? What's your mindset as you approach your business? A lot of people do not think that they are a CEO. They do not operate that their company, their life, their business, and how they relate to people in the marketplace as a business owner, as a CEO. Guys, it's two radical different things, is it not? Business owners, quarterly goals. They've got the LLC. They've got a team of people, lawyers and accountants, and all of these different folks that make up their business, right? Wholesaler. I'm driving around in my 1989 Honda Civic, trashing neighborhoods with I buy houses cash signs and trying to avoid somebody finding out about what I do, right? It's a different mentality, and not everybody has the business owner CEO mentality. So guys, it's a big deal. It's not this light thing. Are you going to have a sustainable business that's going to be around 20 years from now, or are you just running around trying to get a $2,000 wholesale check? It's a different mindset. If you don't believe me, if you don't agree with me, there might be a chance that you're on the wrong side of this coin. William says, hit him with the truth. I'm gonna, and people are not going to like it, but that's okay. Guys, as a CEO, as a business owner, you need to have a servant mentality in real estate with your marketplace. So whether it's buyers, whether it's sellers, whether it's title companies and attorneys, whether it's the mayor, whoever you're dealing with as a CEO, think of all the people that you encounter. I have a servant mentality, and that's what has allowed me to win. I have a servant mentality. Every single person I encounter, whether I can help them or not, I still give them everything I can as a servant, because I believe what I put out into the marketplace comes back tenfold. I believe when I help people for free, sellers, for example, I believe when I help these people for free, they tell every single person they know about their interaction with me as a business owner, not as a wholesaler, not as a buy and hold, not as a fix and flipper. Jordan Stanley Payne treated me right and he served me. That message will go 10,000 times farther than we did a transaction. Relational versus transactional. You've got to make a choice here. I hope and I pray that you guys choose relational. So when I interact with sellers, I try to interact with at least, excuse me, I'm still a little bit sick. I try to interact with at least 100 sellers a month. Okay, whether that is written, whether it is online in some version, whether it is through my different partners, I try to interact with 100 people a month. On average, one good review reaches 100 people. Do the math on that. 100 times 100. On average, a bad review reaches 250 people. Think about it as a movie. You go see a movie, Avengers, whatever the hell. It's a great movie. You loved it. You go tell all sorts of people. Maybe you post about it on Facebook. Maybe you're at a party and you tell people, you have that conversation. 100 people you can reach with a great review. A bad review, a negative review is 250 people. So on average, I try to hit 100 people and I serve them whether I do the deal or not. Catch that, guys. Whether I make money on them or not, I will serve them and I will bless them. I've got a packet. It's pretty long. That packet for sellers is filled with podcasts and blog content that I wrote and other people wrote. It's full of links on how a seller can get more money out of their property if they just do these 5 key things. It's a free consultation invite to talk to my CPA or my real estate agent. I've got all this stuff that I give sellers because I know damn well whether I do that deal or not, they're going to tell everybody they know about how I treated them. It's a little bit different than most wholesalers, is it not? Not all of them, most of them. It's a different approach. It's a different mindset. I have a servant mentality when it comes to business. I serve the hell out of people. We've helped sellers clean out their house. We've taken money out of our pocket to rent moving vans. We've hired people to help them move furniture, right? Like we've helped them paint stuff. We've helped them stain decks. Because that one good review reaches 100 people. And if I'm reaching 100 people that are reaching 100 people a month, guys, do the math on that times 12. It's a different mindset. It's a different mentality. Company image is huge for me. That's why I don't do shady shit. That's why I don't lie. That's why I don't deceive. That's why I don't project myself to the seller one way and explain to them what I'm doing over here. And then 2 seconds later to the buyer or to the other parties, I'm explaining myself differently. I operate with full transparency because I know damn well that people talk to people. And I might make 50 grand on that poor innocent seller. But if I didn't treat them right, and if they find out down the road that I lied to them about the value of their property, what do you think that's going to look like? Again, 250 people on average is a negative review. With social media, with Facebook and Yelp and all of these different review platforms, you're going to get your ass kicked if you are not being transparent with both parties. My company image is important to me, and I hope it is to you as well. Here's a big one, and you guys are not going to agree with this. Bandit signs. Most markets, it is not acceptable from the view of the city to go out and place bandit signs. Ask yourself this question. If you have to sneak around at night when it's dark out and you're wearing a black shirt and a fucking hoodie, placing bandit signs so that you don't get caught, is that the image you want your company to have? Is that the relationship with the city that you want to have? Yes or no? There are some markets where it's completely okay. Most markets, it is not okay. There are fines associated with it. You get in big trouble, right? So guys, I'm talking about you being the CEO and the owner of a company and having that mindset rather than I'm just a wholesaler and I'm going to sneak around in the middle of the night and place bandit signs because I don't care about the relationship with the city. Guys, your company is a staple or should be a staple in your community. Your relationship with the city should be phenomenal. Oh, but Jordan, interest rates, that should be illegal, not bandit signs. But Jordan, assigning a contract should be illegal, not bandit signs. Guys, I don't care what it is. If you have to sneak around and do it, should you be doing it as the CEO of your company? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And yet, most wholesalers don't care because they're only looking for what? They're looking for one of these. They're looking for a check. Correct? So I don't believe that these people are focusing on the image of their company. I don't believe that they're focusing on their reputation. They don't have a long-term business vision. They have a short-term satisfaction desire. And it drives me insane. These people go around trashing neighborhoods with bandit signs. They're stressing out sellers. They're stressing out buyers. They're stressing out title companies. And they're ruining an industry that I love. What's that girl? Cash me outside. Come on over to my house, buddy. Let me explain this in person. Tyler says sketchy AF. Sarah says bandit signs make you look like a scammer. I agree. Anthony says you must provide great service to receive great response. 100%. Here's one more. And again, you guys might not agree with me, but I don't care. I don't care. Until you're closing deals like we are consistently, your opinion is not held with as much weight when it comes to some of these topics. I know that's kind of an asshole thing to say. Holding deals hostage. What do I mean by that? As a wholesaler, you approach a seller, you make them an offer, you have an agreement, they sign it, you sign it, and then something happens and they change their mind. Okay? So maybe I'm going to use John McCarthy here. Maybe John McCarthy shows up 2 days later and he offers the seller more money than you did. And they call you and they say, Jordan, we changed our mind. We're going with John because John treated us better and John served us better. We don't want to do the deal with you. I want to know who's teaching these people to go out and record that agreement and hold that house hostage and tell the seller, you cannot sell this deal to anybody but me. Who is teaching these people this shit? I'd really like to know. Think about it. Your goal, as I just described, was to bless and serve your community, sellers, buyers, the city. And yet, what do you think is going to happen if you call up and say, look, dude, I'm holding your deal hostage, and gosh darn it, you cannot sell it to anybody but me. What do you think is going to happen to your company's image? Now, I don't care if you're right or wrong. I'm not going to debate that right now. I'm not debating that right now. I'm debating your company image and how you're treating that seller. Michelle says, gurus. Is your goal to have a long-term sustainable business, or are you just looking for a short-sighted check? Is holding deals hostage and twisting somebody's arm, making them, forcing them, demanding that they choose your service when they've already made up their mind not to? Imagine, off the cuff here, imagine you go to Best Buy and you buy a 70-inch Bluetooth smart this NASA Elon Musk this computer, right? And you go in and you say, hey, look, we're going to do this transaction together. And as you're taking your shopping cart up to the front, you decide, you know what? Amazon's got a better deal. I'm not going to buy this TV. I'm not going to complete this transaction. And Best Buy comes out with their fucking Uzi and says, damn it, Araldo, you have to buy this. We have to complete the transaction because I went and told the sheriff that you agreed to buy that TV for me. You guys see how ridiculous this is? What are you doing in your marketplace? What makes you think that's a good idea? You're only focused on the check at that point, yes or no? Guys, post it up in the chat for me really quick as I'm losing my voice. Yes or no? Getting a bunch of yeses. Cool. All right, moving on. Daisy chains. Daisy chain is when somebody does or doesn't have the property under contract, debatable, and then they reach out to Anthony, who reaches out to Geraldo and Michelle and JD and Lance and John and Tyler and Sarah. And by the end of the day, we really don't know who has the property under contract. The seller's confused as hell. We don't know if there's a buyer or not a buyer. We have no clue, right? As a business owner and as a CEO of your company, are you operating with transparency as you are marketing something that you don't have under contract and the guy that you talk to doesn't have under contract, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Is that the company image that you want? Are you going to burn bridges with your buyer? Yes or no? Of course you are. So you're not operating with transparency. It's a bad gig, guys. It's a bad gig. You're very quickly going to be known as somebody that is wishy-washy. As the CEO of a company, is that what you want? Of course not. Here's another one. Here's another one. Actually, I'm going to highlight Sarah's comment really quick. Sarah says, don't hold it hostage. Maybe ask better questions and find out why they wanted to work with somebody else. That is 100% truth, my friend. 100% truth. Something happened to make the seller want to work with John rather than you. Did John treat them better? Did John solve their problem better? Did John serve them better? It's not always about money. Maybe John just treated them better. Think about it. So Sarah, to Sarah's point, if Sarah went back to the seller and said, hey, look, I believe that our agreement solved your problem. I believe that our agreement was a good deal for you and for me. What happened? Ask them. Did somebody make you a better offer? If I could match that offer, can we continue on with this deal? Think about it. Well, Sarah, they were completely honest with me, and they told me that they weren't the buyer. And I found out that you were just going to assign it. And I really feel like you were lying to me, Sarah. And when John showed up and was completely honest with me, I wanted to work with John. Huh. Interesting. Which brings me to my next point. Lying to a seller, lying to a buyer. I'm going to use Michelle because she's the top comment. Michelle's my seller, and I say, hey, Michelle, I'm a cash buyer. I can close in 7 days, no appraisal, no this, no that, etc. And I tell Michelle's a lovely lady, by the way, my lipstick friend. I tell Michelle everything she wants to hear, and let's just pretend that Michelle is not educated as a seller in the market. Maybe she just doesn't know. I tell Michelle everything she wants to hear because I'm a sweet-talking, slick-backed hair, nicely dressed young man from Montana. And I take advantage of Michelle because I feed her full of bullshit. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And then what happens when I can't fulfill my end of the bargain? Well, Michelle's pissed off. Michelle's hurt. Michelle is offended. Michelle feels like she got taken advantage of. Was I, as the CEO of my company, being honest to Michelle, yes or no? Of course not. Especially if I did not tell Michelle that I wasn't the buyer. What else can we do to a seller that's lying? It's a bunch, right? There's a bunch of stuff. There's a very long list of ways that people lie to sellers. What about to the buyer? How about the buyer? You could fudge on. You could lie about the comps. You could lie about it actually being your property. They're going to find out, right? You can lie about how many deals you're working on. You can lie about having it under contract. For those of you guys that are jumping in late, we are talking about the mindset of a long-term sustainable business versus a short-sighted, in my examples today, wholesaler that's lying and going to eventually ruin their company image and get booted out of the marketplace. So, guys, actually, do me a favor really quick. Is anybody willing to share this for me? I forgot to ask that in the beginning. Can you guys share this for me? I think there's a lot of wholesalers that need to hear this shit. I'm not naming any groups, but there's a lot of groups that need to hear this shit. When I work with a seller or with a buyer, I'm 100% transparent about who I am and what I do, what service I provide for them. I'm going to use John again because he's at the top. John, look, I work as a third-party liaison between some of my friends that buy properties and between people, sellers like you, sir, that want more options than just working with a real estate agent. So what I do is I basically put pieces together because over the last couple of years, I've been building phenomenal relationships with my buyers, my buddies. I understand what they're looking for. And by working with multiple friends, we have multiple solutions for people like yourself, sir, that may need to sell a property and may not want to have 1,000 people walking through it when it's listed on the MLS and having to paint this and repair that door and fix that piece of drywall, etc. So here's what I'm going to do, John. One of three things is going to happen. I'm going to buy it myself. I'm not even going to use my buddies. I'm going to buy it myself, and I'm going to fix it up a little bit, and I'm going to put a tenant in there because I believe in providing safe, affordable housing for Butte, Montana. That's number one. Number two is if it fits one of my buddies better, they're just going to close on it, right? So I'm just going to let them take over. That's option number two. Option number three, maybe me and them will just partner on it, and we'll close on it together. Do you guys see what I'm doing? I'm being completely honest and transparent with the seller, John, in this situation. Mr. Buyer, look, I'm really good at marketing. I'm really good at building teams and sourcing motivated sellers that have different types of problems that I believe I can solve. I solve those problems by partnering with people like you, sir, that either want to fix and flip, buy and hold, or whatever, a combination of all of them. So what I would like to do, if it's okay with you, is I'd like to understand on a deeper level what it is that you actually want and what you actually need in your business. And if I could provide that for you, do you think we could do business, sir? Completely honest, completely transparent because I'm focused on my company. Interesting. I'm going to ask you guys one more time how you're operating, how you are conducting your business right now, your LLC, your business as the CEO, as the owner of your company, is how you are conducting business sustainable? Yes or no? Be honest with me. Yes or no? Some of you guys are going to say, damn it, Jordan, I'm sustainable, I'm honest, I'm ethical, I'm treating everybody right, I'm not trying to avoid the city with my bandit signs, I'm not lying to anybody, I'm not holding deals hostage by going out and recording the contract. Jordan, my business is sustainable, and I'm treating people fair, honestly, ethically, and with full transparency. That is how I'm operating my business, Jordan. Amen. Hell yeah, hallelujah. Jordan, you were preaching to the choir. The other half of you may or may not be honest with yourself, and you might say, well, I am sneaking around trying not to get caught. I do record contracts and hold deals hostage. I'm not ethical and honest with the seller or the buyer. If that's you, you are not going to be in business very long. And the ethical, honest, operational businesses that are sustainable are going to kick your behind every time. Guys, I'm going to take about 5 minutes and answer any questions that you guys might have on long-term versus short-sightedness. Any questions that you have, let me know. I would love to be able to help you begin to figure your shit out if it's not figured out already. So let's take a couple minutes. Anybody have any questions? We got Matt, we got William, we got Taylor Pugh, we got DeMarcus McQueen, we got Mr. Pickett, I believe. We got Anthony. Guys, any questions for me really quick? I know I came in a little hot. I know I was maybe a little bit offensive today. If you're new and if you've never heard me, that's just who I am. I'm sick of the fucking bullshit. Always at the end of these things, I have no voice, so bear with me. Guys, any questions? Real estate related, branding, marketing, long-term versus short-sightedness. Any questions really quick before I jump off? For those of you guys listening to the audio on the podcast, if you have a question, feel free to email me. My email is Jordan S. mt@gmail.com. I'm going to put that in the show notes as well so that you guys have it. I know it's a little bit awkward because we're live. We also have YouTube. We also have a podcast. I know that there's different people tuning in from different areas. So if you're listening to the audio, you missed the live and you have questions, shoot me a message on Facebook at Jordan Stanley Payne, or send me an email, jordanspaynemt@gmail. I got first one coming in from Mr. Van Horn. How would you handle a JV deal that the partner was not honest? Personally, I would either have to take over the deal 100% and begin to be honest. Anthony, no offense, I'm going to use you and Carl because you guys are right on my screen. If you've JV'd with Anthony, Anthony is being dishonest, and you find out about it and you're involved in the transaction, your company is on the line, as is Anthony's. Your reputation, your image in the marketplace is on the line. So I would tell Anthony, look, dude, you're out. I'm still going to pay you $500 bird dog fee, but I've got to take over this transaction now because I am not okay operating the way that you are operating, sir. So no offense, but we're either going to cancel right now or I'm taking over fully and I'm going to go out and start being honest with the buyer and the seller. That's what I would do, Mr. Van Horn. Ignacio Stapleton. Hey, I love that last name, dude. I'm a big fan of Chris Stapleton. I love his music. How do you recognize a real lender? It depends on what kind of a lender you're talking about. If it is private money, if you are truly looking for truly private individuals that you can bless and serve and add value to, you're not going to find them online with a website. You're not going to find them online with an email that says abclending@gmail.com. They don't have fucking websites, right? Like, you're not going to find them on your computer. You find them by getting off your behind and going out and networking with people and adding some gosh darn value to their life. Every single one of my private money lenders did not know that they were private money lenders. They didn't know they were private money lenders until I educated them, added value, I blessed them, I helped them, and I radically changed the trajectory of their gosh darn family for 10 generations after me. That is private money. Hard money. They're on Facebook. They message you on Facebook and say, hey, I'm a hard money lender. These are my terms. This is what I do. It's 30 years. It's blah, 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 blah. Those are hard money lenders. Can you use a hard money lender? Sure. Is it the most expensive form of financing in the world? It is. Do they prey on people that are not motivated enough to go out and find private money or don't qualify for a bank loan? Yes. They prey on those people. Think about it. So that's private money, that's hard money. Bankers, I don't know, if you get a referral from somebody in your market that's worked with a good banker. That's about it. Good question, man. A lot of people ask that question. Mr. Bonnell. Hey, if you guys don't know William Bonnell, the handsomest mofo in the world, make sure you follow him. He is an ocean of information and honesty and handsomeness in the marketplace. Make sure you follow that dude. How do you suggest a wholesaler go about transitioning into buy and hold? So guys, if you are a wholesaler and if you are doing wholesaling the way that I teach, you are a marketing fiend. You're out there marketing like crazy. You're building up your brand, your image. You're blessing people left and right. Title companies and property management companies and lenders and lawyers and blah, blah, blah. You're marketing like a mofo. That doesn't stop. The only thing that stops is you start saying, number one on my list is there any way I can figure out how to keep this damn deal? What is actually going to solve the seller's problem? What are they going to do with the money? Is there any way I can step into this transaction and keep this property for myself? It does not have to mean that you use all of your own money. It does not have to mean you have to have good credit and 20% down for a bank. None of that shit matters. How can you solve the seller's problem? To Ignacio's point, is there a private lender that you can help out with a good return and put the pieces together? So, William, in my opinion, you continue to market like crazy, but your number one objective now is there any way I can keep it? Your second objective is there any way I can partner with somebody and keep it? Third objective, is there any way I can partner with somebody that's going to flip it? Fourth objective, can I wholesale it? Fifth objective, what relationship do I have with a real estate agent that I could pass on this lead to them in exchange for blank? I think, William, if that's your mindset, you're going to be financially free. Well, William already is. Everyone else listening, you're going to be financially free very, very quickly if that's your mindset. So stop viewing every deal as a quick wholesale. Start holding these. We talk about this. If you guys don't know Todd Fleming, he is the author of If You Can't Wholesale After This, I've Got Nothing For You. He's my business partner. He wrote that book about 6 months ago. Within 6 months, it is in the top 10 out of any real estate book ever effing written. Top 10. That's going against Robert Kiyosaki. That's going against Cody Sperber, like all of the big mother effers. Top 10 in the world out of any book ever effing written. In addition to that, he's in the top 2,000, any category, any book ever written and sold, including the Bible, including Rich Dad, Poor Dad, including anything by Grant Cardone. Top 2,000 out of any book ever written. What was I saying? Where was I going with Todd Fleming? Oh, yeah. In the back of his book, he shows people, to William Bonnell's comment, he shows people how, on a wholesale deal, you can get paid for the next 3 to 5 years. You can get paid 50, 60, 70, 80 times rather than one time. And how you can create passive income by wholesaling. I'm going to put up the name of that book. If You Can't Wholesale For This, I've Got Nothing For You. It's on the screen, guys. Order it. It's on Amazon. Todd Fleming. Cool. Nothing shady from your team. Good. Working on building relationships with buyers. How do I best approach them? Approach them with, that's from Sarah. Approach them with the attitude of, I want to serve you and I want to become an extension of your team. Let's just say that the LLC is William Bonnell Handsome Lives Matter LLC, and William Bonnell is a buyer. You approach William Bonnell and say, William, is there anything that you're lacking in your operation that I could fill that void? William, can I take you out for coffee? Can I take you out for dinner? Can I wash your car? William doesn't have a car because he crashes them. But you guys see what I'm saying? Can I walk your dog? Can I paint your house? What can I do to bless you in your operation? What's lacking on your team that I could come in and fill that void? That's how you find buyers. Real buyers. Get referrals from people in your marketplace that know who the real buyers are. Anthony, so definitely eliminate ABC wholesalers from your company business card and name, correct? Depends on your goal, man. It really does. Like from a marketing standpoint, I don't like the word wholesaler, right? The seller doesn't understand what the hell that is. Most wholesalers don't understand what the hell that is anyways. So rather than saying I'm a wholesaler, I would say, I'm going to use your example, ABC Property Solutions or something like that. Take the word wholesaler out. Also, you're limiting yourself to just wholesaling when you brand yourself as just a wholesaler. I'd get rid of that. Tyler says he's a boss, referring to Todd Fleming. Michelle says he is way handsome, referring to Mr. Bonnell. Guys, really quick, this is the link for the book if you want to check it out. I'm going to leave it in the comments. All right, guys, I'm out. Appreciate you. One more time, if you haven't shared this broadcast, do it for me. We covered a lot, and people need to hear this shit. Every single week, guys, 2 p.m. Eastern time, this show is going to be live. Make sure you guys catch me next week. The podcast will be out tomorrow morning, and it will be out on YouTube tomorrow morning as well if you guys want to catch the replay. Appreciate you guys. Go out and kill it. Have a good Memorial Day weekend.